Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and watch a little bit of anime, and then we come back here and talk about it. And today we're going to be talking for the very last time about Sarazanmai. It's an anime. We watched it all, and hopefully you went along for
Sure
the
is an
ride.
anime.
It was indeed an anime, but at the end of this episode, we're going to be picking a brand new anime to watch. So we're all going to watch together one of these. These are either suggested by me or Matt, and also you, the viewers. So a way that you can get this, get an anime. If you see one on there, and if you don't see one on there, and you're like, man, I want them to watch this anime. $5 super chat on YouTube or 500 bits on Twitch. Shout out to everybody. And I also since L added gave us 500 bits last time, I added Near Automata version 1.1a because I watched episode 1, really great. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, because it was like episodic. I don't follow along with the episodic and I just forgot about it. But I've been playing the game and I was like, you know what, I do want to finish it. It seems like a really cool series, so I added that one to the chest. If you would like to add one, that's how you do it. $5 super chat on YouTube or 500 bits on Twitch. But I don't go on these anime journeys alone because I go with my co-host, Matt Galley. Matt, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing so good. I am so ready to get Sarazanmai ranked, rated, and get something new going for us here.
Yeah.
Very excited to see what your final thoughts are on it, because like it got to places that I didn't think we were gonna go. But ultimately, whether or not that was for the better, I guess we'll talk about.
It's literally up in the air, right? Because you could either love this show or hate it. And definitely one of the more divisive ones, I'm sure, because maybe you started it with us and you just didn't finish it, or you didn't even want to try it, and that's totally okay. But one update I do gotta say, I have been reading my Junji Ito books for you, Matt. It's great. And I'm just been um liking it. I'm not saying that it's like my favorite thing, but I
It's
can
different.
understand. I get it.
Yeah.
So that's a little update for my manga. I've been reading a ton of manga lately, just eating them all up. But on the anime train, let's go down this Sarazanmai hole one more time. So we only watched 3 episodes this week, and we're gonna give our thoughts fully here. Claire, my favorite things, Matt and Jules. It is us. We are here for one more episode for Sarazanmai and then picking a brand new one. Episode 9. I want to connect, but I can't express it. What happens in episode 9?
So we see Sarah accidentally throw Kepi into traffic, leaving him shattered. Toy and Chikai see that Enta is in the hospital, Chikai emphasizing that Toy can still leave. Kazuki expresses his guilt to Enta's older sister, Janai. Sarah repairs Kepi, who turns Enta into a kappa with a ticking timer, with his life ticking away. Kazuki and Enta make up as they set off to reclaim the silver dishes. Rio discovers Mabu in an utterly awful situation.
Oh, God.
And Haruka prompts Kazuki to remember his oldest connection with Toy, who is about to be betrayed by his older brother before he would be shot himself. Not shoot himself, but shot himself.
Yeah.
He got shot.
Oof, man. We are going down more holes. Hello, Killian. Hello, everybody. Going down more holes here on the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour.
Sorry.
Wait, I think we're good. 5 minutes is good. No trying to pronounce. I wrote it down here. The Maka, whatever.
See, my thing is that like I should never attempt to sound something out while I'm not actually looking at it. But then I saw in one of the cutaway sequences between the show, the buffer, it's had it spelled out as Misanga. So I don't know if that's how it's supposed, like with an S. So I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
No clue.
I should have taken a screen cap of that one. But anyways, yes, I have a note for myself. Never sound something out when you're not looking at it, because
that's good to know.
Yeah, I shouldn't just be imagining what the word did look like while I'm trying to sound it out.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So Kepi shatters in a very weird situation here. I kind of want to talk about, like, because that was a lot of fun has been had in this anime, whether it was for you or for not. You know what I mean? Like they definitely tried to make you laugh, and it was silly, things like that. Can you talk about this anime in general, just the humor?
Yeah, I think it balances pretty well the absurdism versus the grounded nature of
Mhm,
the kind of like a character drama that's veiled over it, that slowly becomes more prevalent as time moves forward. I think that the best types of media in their genres, like take horror for an example, like horror I feel like balances really well with comedy, because you get that release of the tension that's like kind of built up by the comedy. So some of the best horror movies to me are ones that can balance that fine line of making you laugh and making you like feel tense and scared. Like one of the best examples in recent memory for me would be like Happy Death Day. Have a Happy Death Day. I can't remember the name
Okay,
entirely, but it's
yeah,
like it does a good job of building tension and giving a release, which is a good cycle. And I feel like this one has a good job of you could say that it's, comedy balanced with like a character drama, or the whole kind of like Power Ranger-esque like structure, uh counter juxtaposed with character drama. It really depends on how you want to like paint it, but to me it definitely is like this absurdist humor that comes from a that's like a grounded in Japanese folklore, and that's what also helps draw to the absurdist nature of it, is
hmm
seeing those things portrayed to like that over the top nature, which adds in like an aspect of physical comedy to it.
hmm
Um,
There's a lot of physical comedy in this, I
yes,
think.
but it constantly reels itself back in with all of the show initially says it's all about the connections between people, and it constantly brings it back to being about that. Whenever like even the comedy, it serves a purpose, I feel like, to drive the plot forward too. It's
hmm
never like, oh, we're just breaking away to completely hit the brakes and like have a laugh right now.
And
Kepi being frozen and him being tossed into traffic, and it's all giving this like, the side story of like, why isn't he there actively helping them? They
yeah,
need to deal with their problems in that bubble until the plot needs him to be reintroduced.
and it brings it to Toei's brother being by the news being, blamed for Enta's shooting. So like it instantly grounds us again. Like there's some other stuff going on here outside of like the silliness, but then outside of the main thing, all these characters like are still on their journey, and it gets kind of real a lot of times. And I don't know if I was expecting that when it came into this and they did the whole monster of the week every episode
Monster
for
of
the
the
first
week,
couple.
musical number,
Musical
like
number every time, and I was like, okay. And then like it feels like in these three episodes we're going to talk about today, it just kind of ramped it up on that other side, and I was like,
mhm.
whoa. And some of it felt like a little too much. Like I think the very last episode, I'm like, this is a lot. Like they're trying to bring this home for sure, and I'm okay with the way it ended. But it's kind of a lot, and a lot's going on, and I guess we'll talk about it. But
Yeah.
um
A lot is going on, but I like how it is a lot of stuff that like not necessarily, I guess it does. Like it's a lot of stuff that recontextualizes like a lot of previous events, and
sure.
it makes to me just like the whole concept of, that the show's going with, it makes everything come like full circle.
hmm
Um Episode 11 definitely was a lot, and we'll get to that. We have plenty of time for that, but
So we get a flashback. I don't know if you have anything here, but we get a flashback from Enta, and Enta imprinted on Kazu, and Enta turned into a Kappa, and Enta is on a timer to live. So he is counting down the time. So we have some forward momentum into the end before Enta dies? Question mark. But then he gets turned into a Kappa. So we have that sort of fun bit there that this one character is a Kappa for a little bit. Um, Kazu. So I'm still not on the Enta train, man. I get it. Fine. Whatever. But Enta, like, sort of forgiving him this whole after all the stuff that Enta was doing, I still don't like Enta. I still hate him. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing, bro? I mean, I get it that you got shot or whatever. Okay, that's fine. I don't want him to die. But like, still, Kazu is such a good person. Kazu's so much. You're not good enough for Kazu, I think is what I'm trying to say. Because I
Mhm.
think they're gonna be the golden duo, going forward.
I think
But
in that moment, yes, that's how I feel. But then it's in the next episode where I feel like he puts himself in in like that the show sheds light on him that makes me feel like he's like semi redeemed in a way in the next
okay.
episode. But at least right now in the moment, the instant forgiveness, you would think that there would at least be some like lingering, like I want to maybe that even coming out of Kazuki, like I want to help you, but like I haven't forgiven you type
Yeah, I at
deal.
least there should have been like one moment where he's like, I'm doing this for you, but like you still got to answer for some stuff later on. Like this is
Exactly.
the main. I get it. I'm trying to keep you alive, but like I'm gonna be mad at you after, just to let
Yeah.
you know.
Or even like play off that whole, he felt guilty for Haruka, so maybe like he just doesn't even like he just doesn't want that guilt on
I
himself
guess so.
that somebody else would
Uh,
like that. I'm just saying that like that could be another good angle for the show to go with, but it doesn't get presented that way.
mhm.
But yeah.
We see the other one of the trio, Toei, and he's just shooting fools. And it's like a little jarring for me when I see that. I mean, I get it. I know he's killed a person before already, and that's a part of his main backstory.
Hmm.
But then it also shows like how far I guess he's gonna go for his brother, and that was sort of jarring for me to see. Like, oh, he's there protecting him. Like he knows that the world's against his brother, and he's his only family like connection that he wanted, and he's just like, I'm just shooting fools. Here we are. I'm trying to protect you, bro, and I
Oh,
have
there
this
I
gun
started
still.
blasting.
Anyway, he started blasting. That was kind of crazy for me. Just like the brother's point of view in the bushes, and then Toei's just like pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, whoa, he's going and literally just killing people. It's insane. Um, so we get information about the main antagonist, I guess. Otters exist as a concept. They are a mirror of the desires inside of you. And then we also get the backstory for Rio and Mabu a little bit more. How Rio wants the dishes to get back real Mabu, which
That's what he
is
calls him at
that,
least.
yeah, real Mabu for now until we get to later on. Um, Toei gets shot, I think, and then after credits, um, no, Toei doesn't get shot. It looks like he was going to get shot. Like they did a pull away, but somebody got shot,
Hmm.
and it was instead his brother that took the
And in that
bullet.
pull away shot, you can actually see the silhouette of the person that shot
Oh, I
Chikai.
didn't even see that.
Hmm.
Oh,
He's standing there, just
and then yeah, the last thing that they say, it's a pain trying to connect. So they're still bringing home that connection sort of thing, and I definitely want to think about it right now. And I want to get your thoughts at the end about how and if the anime did fulfill what they were trying to set out and say about connections, about whatever it is. We'll
mhm.
talk about it at the end. We get like a montage at the end as well of Tony's brother just vibing, and I'm like, oh brother, like I don't know, did you feel anything there? Because I'm just
Yeah.
like, I know he's a bad guy though. Like
He's a
I was
bad guy though, but sometimes the
no
bad people in the world are the ones who survive or something like that.
what what no
Isn't that what he said? The
uh,
bad people are the ones who survive.
yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I didn't
It's
feel
just like
anything. I don't feel bad. I didn't really connect
I
to the
mean,
brother.
I don't feel bad that he died. I feel bad that Toy is losing like his
Okay,
blood
yeah, that.
connection.
Mhm,
That's like more so where I'm at, I
sure.
guess. Where it
Yeah.
shows that, even though he might have
Oh,
been a
wrong one.
bad guy, he at least tried to be a good older brother.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, really with that note in his pocket, right? Made
Yeah.
him seem like, oh yeah, he was doing it for him and, all that stuff. Kind of
Do
like
it
the
for
Homer
him.
Simpson
Do it
Maggie
for
thing.
her.
Yeah, do it for her. That Maggie thing where he just puts up all the pictures of Maggie. That's kind of how I felt in that instance. I was like, oh, he had a picture of his brother in his pocket this whole time. He cares about him. Then we go on to episode 10. I want to connect, but I can't. What happens in episode 10?
Flashing back, we see the Otter making their deal with Mabu, and Reo detains Kepi with Kazuki and Enta forced to follow him back to the Otter HQ. Reo is distracted by Mabu, and the others make a break for it. The Auditor reveals themselves to be the mastermind and attempts to have Enta betray the others, but he resists the temptation of the desires. Mabu, realizing he can't be with Reo, allows himself to become a Kappa zombie. Reo
Woo!
calls for Kepi to take his Shirikodama, then going on to defeat the Reo zombie and completing Sarazanmai. Mabu ensures Ryu of his love, causing his mechanical heart to stop, and Mabu is erased from the circle, causing Ryu to have a breakdown before being shot by Toy, who demands the golden dish from Kazuki. Kazuki refuses and stops Enta's clock from running out, and the Auditor summons the Dark Kepi, who reaches out to Toy by imitating Chikai.
Bro, okay, this is where I started to lose. You started to lose me here in the end a
Oh,
little
really?
because there's a lot of stuff happening, and I don't know if I expected to be so connected to Rio and Mabu. So I was just kind of like, I was still on the
Yeah,
fence.
because
Like,
all of a sudden at the start of this episode, Rio's just like, by the way, we're Kappa too.
yeah, and I was like, wait, huh? What's happening? Yeah, Mabu and Rio are vessels and or vassals
Vassals.
and kappas, and I was like, what do you mean? I don't know. I mean, not totally lose me for sure, but like
Okay.
I was still on the idea that they were essentially bad guys. I mean, I might have not picked up on like the the turn enough. I don't think it turned because before they were saying that Rio was saying that he just wanted to get back Mabu and he was gonna do whatever it takes to get back Mabu. I'm like, okay, they're still kind of bad, and I understand the reasoning, but I didn't expect them to flip it for us to care about them. And I was like, oh, we're supposed to care about them now, and now I
Whoa, you
do.
guys shot a guy
Yeah, but yeah,
in the head in the middle of the day.
you've been doing some stuff though. Like I'm supposed to care. Like
You tried to
hooray, gay.
kidnap Kazuki's little brother and turn him
Yeah,
into
like gay
dust.
love. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. I love these two. They're fucking cool. They're dancing and shit. But y'all be shooting people. What? Like, I mean,
Soya.
yeah. I mean, I guess it goes to I don't know how far can the human experience go where you just kind of root for them even though you kill people? Like I don't know. I think that's sort of a stretch for me. Where
Yeah.
I've seen them do crazy stuff this whole series, and then now they're like, "But my love for you." And oh my god, I loved you so. I mean, that was great. I was like, dope, cool, awesome.
Good for
But
you
you
guys.
killed people
But you killed
and you did
people.
some bad stuff. But like, oh my god, I love you so much. He
But what
didn't.
about all the murder?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
murder?
So it was like, oh, we're supposed to care about them now. What? Okay. So whatever. Dark Kepi is here. We got the Dark Kappa, his alternate, his other half. Um, Otter. The Otter enters Enta. Wow, that was a hard. I wrote it so nicely and fine here, and it's very hard to say. The Otter enters Enta, and it got all kinds of weird. We were inside. I think
Enta's world.
also, yeah, we were inside Enta's world. I think also where I'm just like kind of lost because it is abstract, and they're trying to bring visuals to it, and I'm just like, it's just he's just a thing, and they can do this thing, and we can go back into memories, and we can go back into existence, and I'm just like, whew, okay, this is a
Yeah.
lot to kind of
You just
follow
kind of
here.
have to go. You just kind of have to bob and weave.
Yeah,
with the
because I
punches,
think
roll with it.
I think in the next episode when they're going back into memories and stuff and erasing himself from time, and I'm just like, how much time is passing? Doesn't it wouldn't it all happen instantly? Why would you start from the end?
Mhm.
and you could just do a Back to the Future thing where you just kill the one person at the end and then the rest is gone. I don't know. Um, they did an extraction on Rio, and Rio became a little Kappa boy, and I loved it. It was so good.
They're just
They
like, we
got
have to complete the Sarazanmai.
yeah. I was like, oh, here we are.
Ugh.
We're doing it. Um, and Mabu wasn't able to say the words of love to Rio. They did their whole love thing. They did the thing. Mabu loves Rio. Rio kicks Kazu, and Rio is about to end it all. He's about to take the dish, and then that part got me. That part where he's like, "Who did I forget?
Yeah,
Who did I forget?" I was like,
that hurt.
"Oh no, that one hurt." It was a lot.
Who
Um,
is this burning feeling for?
yeah, who is this burning feeling? Oh my god, so crazy. Um, Toei kills Rio, and then they kind of die, and they kind of just do this thing. So I thought before the last episode, there is this like trope in media that kind of sucks. The whole bury your gays trope where gay lovers are not allowed a happy ending, and it happens a lot in media, and it really sucks. So I thought that's where it was gonna go, and I was like, oh man, like that sucks. Like these two clearly gay lovers that are on screen a whole lot of time, they got us to root for them in this episode, and I'm like, that's how they're gonna end it in this like thing that happens all the time that they don't get a happy ending. And I was like kind of sad about it. I was like, oh man, that's not
But then
great.
but then it comes back around next episode.
Yeah, it comes back around next episode. But after
Yeah.
the end of this episode, I was just like, oh, that's
Kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth.
yeah. And I was like, okay. They get the golden dish, and Enta's death is on the horizon. Of course, Toei wants the dish for his brother to bring. So can the dish can bring people back? Is it just a wish? Do we
Yeah.
decide
I
it's
mean,
just a
like
wish for anything?
the rules are what you want the rules to be, because
Okay.
when we were getting introduced to it, they rudely interrupt Kepi's explanation
Oh
to
yeah.
ask for a year's worth of cucumber rolls.
That's true. Forgot about that.
We
We
don't
did
care
not
about the
get
rules.
we did not get that. So they're just have blind faith that it could bring someone back to life
Yeah.
because it's just a wish.
But I mean, I guess you could say that like he didn't bring him back to life, he just asked for the injury to not take his life.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Well,
I think Toy wanted to try to use it to bring his brother back to life.
yes, definitely.
But then didn't he say that like he would have used it to bring Enta back anyways?
He says, where is it here? No, I thought you got a screenshot of it. He says something. No, he says I would have done that too. Like he means like if I was in your position, I would have done that too. So he totally understands it. If he was in Kazu's position there, he'd be like, yeah, I get it. It's fine. Because he was going to do the same thing for his brother, pretty much. The otter ceases every connection in the world using Dark Kepi, and then Toei walks into the void with his brother. That was kind of crazy. Really like that moment. It's throwing a lot at me a lot of the time, and we just had to go with it. I feel like it was just a lot in these last two episodes. When they've been just chilling, vibing, whatever, and doing the same
it
dance.
has been a lot. But like, I mean, from the second that like Enta actually got shot, like I was like, oh, that's where we're going with things. Like the situation's getting pretty dire, and I kind of expected from there the stakes to only ramp up exponentially, knowing that this is episode 8 and we only have 3 more to go, not even 4 more episodes. So I knew things were probably going to be coming up quick and fast, and I think I was kind of mentally ready for that, given the the prompting of one of our main characters just getting shot and the others like on a boat leaving. It's like there's some pretty drastic things that are about to happen, because they got to wrap this up and they got to make it satisfying and have an impact, or it's going to land with metal pipe noise MP4.
How did you feel about Mabu and Rayo's storyline here,
Yes.
and did it hit for you?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the whole concept of like just they were both it's poetic in a way how they were
Sure.
like so ready to give up everything just so they could have the other person, but they didn't realize the one thing that they were giving up was the one thing they desired most from the other person. So
Oof.
yeah, so you have like, it's, to me, that's like almost just symbolic of just in actual relationships being able to effectively communicate things like your how you receive and give love and stuff like that. It's not always so easy for those things to just be clearly communicated, but if you don't, then that's just gonna manifest as resentment for the other person, because they just ended up like thinking that the other person just didn't feel anything for them. But it's like, no, it's the opposite. Like, I feel so much, you don't understand the depths of what I'm feeling. And they both felt that way, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
Ryu can't I mean, yeah, Ryu can't um I'm sorry, Mabu can't say anything about it because his like pact with the mechanical heart,
Mm-hmm.
and he thinks that like just being around Mabu will be enough to satisfy that connection. But then Mabu comes out,
Rayo.
Rayo, yeah. Then Rayo just comes out and says, like, you're not the person that tells me the things I want to hear. And then Mabu's like, oh shit, like I can't, and I can't.
Yeah.
So
Literally can't.
if being here isn't gonna like isn't enough to keep him, then and I want to say the thing and he wants to hear the thing, then I'm just gonna do it, even if it means it ends my life.
Ugh. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's definitely yeah, I like how it gives the kind of bittersweet aspect of that, but with the wrap up to this episode. But then it comes back around next episode and kind of, um at least gives them more of a hopeful send off, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely. Because they're vassals, apparently, and they're part of what we were supposed to be rooting for. And we didn't know that the entire time. But they could have fooled us. Cool. All right. That's the one thing that I'm like, okay. Huh? What are we
Yeah.
doing? How are we supposed to know that? How does this anime end? Episode 11. I want to connect. So Sarazanmai.
Toy is taken through his memories and prompted to remove himself from the circle. Kazuki and Enta realize that as long as they make it to the Misanga moment, then they can save their connection to Toy, stopping him from removing their core connection. We see the otter attempt to remove their memories one by one, but they all hold out long enough for Kepi to arrive and allow them to initiate their final Sarazanmai.
Woo!
Kepi final form. We see visions of the possibilities of an alternate timeline mirroring the titles of all the previous episodes, with Sarah ascending into their final form as well and joining Kepi. We follow Toy through the credit sequence as he does his time in the juvenile detention center before jumping off a bridge to be joined by Kazuki and Enta as they set off into the future, connecting their desires through the pain of loss.
Woo! Off
That's
to the
what you gotta do. Off
future.
to the future.
Bro, this was wild. I I just don't
Just kind of
even.
start. You just gotta roll
You
with the
just
punches.
gotta go with it. Um,
Kepi final
Joey,
form, I guess.
yeah, I didn't even catch that Sarah was the princess until it's in the title of this photo. I'm like, oh fuck, that was her.
That's Sarah.
That's Sarah for some reason. I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Because like, I don't know where they came from. I was like, who are these? What are these? Okay, I missed it. It was going so fast. They just like wrapped it up. Toei is erasing his past self, and stating, "You'll never have been hurt," or his brother, which is the otter, "You'll never have been hurt if no connection was there to begin with." The Makanga is the entire plot, the entire like um way to continue and to save and stay and
It's
and
like the
all that stuff.
core, most
Yeah.
fundamental connection for
And
them.
I like that they kept it there. And I like that they had something tangible that we can see visually to help us along this road in the last episode. Because that did kind of help. Like, okay, this is it. This and that memory in the past, right? Where
Mhm.
Toei and Kazu, when they gave it to him and all that stuff. Um
Their little
Kepi
poses.
Kepi is engulfed in utter despair. Toei shoots his brother, who is the otter, and Kazu just won't let it go. Kazu is like, "No, we are stopping. We are not letting this happen." Memories are erasing. We get one last Sarazanmai. We get the otter joining in the song, which was pretty funny. I don't think they've ever sang back, but the otter was singing back in this one for
In the
the
last
Sarazanmai.
one, it sang back because it was Reo and Mabu, and the
Yeah,
Mabu zombie sang back.
yeah, but none of the others, none of the other lame zombies. We got the otter singing back.
They would just say something weird like, "Why are you hitting all my balls?"
Yeah. Don't take my balls. And then, but I love
Bro.
that the ball just says "but." That's the name on it.
Oh my goodness.
Ray and Mabu are back. Hooray! How does that happen though? Um,
It's their spirit,
oh,
the
okay.
the Kappa spirit.
That dang Kappa spirit. All of this is literally just the whole ending episode is just me being like, okay, but nah, okay, on to the next thing. How does that? It the otter was a concept, and a lot of I don't know. I feel weird because it bothers me a lot. Does it not bother you a lot that you have to like? But they didn't explain the. Hmm, hmm.
with like with how everything went with everything else that the show did, it's just kind of like, I don't know, like mentally I'm just like kind of drawing my own assumptions based on the lore that's already been presented in the show and what how the characters are reacting, I guess. So like when they're falling through that void and they're just like recalling all of their memories and talking about how like each of them used to want to be somewhere else
Yeah,
until they like, found their place, so to speak, for X, Y, and Z reasons. And they all have their own reasons for feeling that way. And then it like they're all like, oh no, my memories are getting drained. It's like, okay, I guess that's what's happening. Their
yeah,
their memories are like getting drained, but then the Kepi is able to stop that from happening. And I'm just like, okay, I get we're final Sarazanmai. Here we go. Here we go. Yet again.
yeah. We get the titles of all the
Go
episodes flashing
for it.
back. Got all the titles of the episodes flashback that they're all playing soccer. Um, the what they were saying was that what flashed through them was the future of them from the past self,
Yep.
and it's a
It was
possibility.
possibilities of their future, but of their past. So like go into the past and it's like another route of timeline. Like imagine a timeline where they all joined soccer together as a trio and went into club and they went on to like compete. It was showing like all of these different like for me what it was representing is showing like all of these different possible like outcomes of like why things wouldn't work out in that timeline as well. Like even though they want to connect, but and it went through all the past episode names and it was like kind of
Mhm.
showing an example of how that episode's name could be used in the timeline where they are on the soccer team. So like I
Yeah.
I want to connect, but I want to betray. And I want to betray before I get abandoned. That's the reason.
Mhm.
Et cetera, et cetera. So like as it's going through all of those, like I don't know. It's like maybe some people would call it avant-garde. Other people might call it pretentious. I think it's just a really nice metaphor to wrap up this story that's
Yeah.
full of symbolism and metaphors and being able to draw deeper meanings from things that appear surface level at first.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't exactly hold your hand through it through
Hmm.
these last two episodes, and you have to piece that together. But if you're okay with piecing it together, um, it is really nice. Like I like this part where it's like after thinking about it a whole lot, because I'm like, what is this? What is this concept thing? What is all this? Um, and then thinking about what I wrote, and I'm just like, okay, so this is what it is, and this is showing the symbolism of that this would still happen, that this is inevitable. And they even say it in the episode here, those that connect their desires through the pain of loss can take the future in their hands, and it's your choice. And that's kind of displayed onto Kazu's little brother, um how that he's like, I get it now and all this stuff. So it that's basically what it is, that you have to um go through these things. Like
Yeah.
it's not something that you often choose one timeline or the other. Like it's going to happen in your life, and you have to take it, and what you do with it is what makes you better or connect
Mhm.
better.
And I think it's also saying, or it also has something to say about, the fact that connections are constantly evolving. There's never like an end state or like a final goal. There's always like the next thing. And that's just kind of like the
What
reality of it.
wasn't it in Danganronpa where that one girl was like, so what does it mean to be best friends? Was it Danganronpa? I
That
forgot.
was Kisniver.
Kisniver, where she's like, what does it mean to be best friends? So once you're somebody's best friend, you have to be their best friend forever. And that's kind of like how she was thinking about it. And she's like, that's torture. Like that's like, or the way that she was sort of spinning it was like, oh, that's not great because of all this stuff. But that's kind of what they're touching on here as well. And they also say it's because you have people you care about is the reason you get sad and happy.
Yeah.
It's because of those connections
Without the
that
highs, you wouldn't have the lows. Without the lows, you wouldn't have the highs.
definitely. And then they show some really lows here because Toei goes to juvenile detention. What do you think about that part of it, where after the credits sort of he gets his due? He
I
has to
mean,
do
yeah,
the
he,
thing.
he killed some people, so I think it's fitting that we at least see some sort of consequences for his actions, even though he's one of our protagonists. Like that's kind of something pretty heavy, taking other people's lives, but
Mhm.
uh because he's underage, he just only serves time in a juvenile detention center. Didn't get
For
tried as an
killing some
adult, I
people.
guess, for manslaughter
Whatever. Cool. He
or
was there for
murder.
maybe like, I mean, he still looks sort of the same. So you would think it's like
That's what I mean. It
maybe
looks like he
5 years.
spent a summer in there. It looks like he spent a summer in there, bro. Like that doesn't. They all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
They look like they are sophomores at the latest,
How
or
many people
it would
did you
be
kill? You killed 5 people.
that would be
That's
first
5
years out
weeks.
there.
Yeah.
But anyways, they managed to at least give some closure on all of that, and that at least makes their again, it's like that makes their them being reunited once again feel like rewarding to a certain degree.
Off to the future. What I didn't really understand what what that was, where he jumped off the
I
bridge.
think it was trying to bait us out and thinking that like he had fallen into despair and he was like just gonna
Yeah, but
maybe
like
fix
why?
himself.
I definitely see that. But why did Toei the character do it? Because I don't understand that. Was he really trying to end his
Oh no,
what?
he jumped off the bridge right next to their soccer spot.
Yeah.
So he's just goofing off.
Okay.
He knew
He
they were
went pretty
there.
low.
He knew they were there.
I
Nah.
guess.
I'm pretty sure he was
Did he know they were there? Because he was like, "What are you
he
two
wa-
doing
he
here?" I don't think he did.
But then he was like, "I'm tired of you guys," and he was like smiling. He knew
Okay.
they all knew.
Okay.
they get out of that thing. They're
Just
like,
gonna
we're
fake.
gonna just gonna play soccer. We're just
Just
gonna
gonna
turn into Kappa.
fake jump off the bridge to
No,
get my
I'm
friends to come out.
pretty sure that that was what it was trying to do. But
Okay, maybe it was sarcastic.
it shows you the thing uh of the bridge, the name of the bridge, which we've seen time and time again. So the second that name is in shot, like if you've been paying attention, you know, oh, that's their
That's where it's at.
bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the boys come back. They do a whole showing of all the characters towards the end about how they ended up. We see these, we see Rio and Mabu. We see Nyantaro has 4 little babies. It was like a half-second shot of Nyantaro being like, huh? And he has like 4 little babies there with him, 4 little kittens. And I'm like, oh my God.
The cat was pregnant.
The cow was pregnant this whole time. That's crazy. But yeah, happy ending for everybody. I was not expecting a happy ending because it was super happy the whole time, or like the whole beginning part, but it did have sort of a happy ending for everybody. And that's how Sarazanmai ended. And that's it. I mean,
Kettle.
yeah, I don't know. Would you, before we rank it,
Sure.
would you recommend this anime to anybody to watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I would prompt them by like telling them it's very absurd and a lot of it's based in like folklore that they kind of like take to like over the top to the next level, and it's basically a deconstruction of something like Power Rangers, but if all the characters had like crushes on each other, and it's actually about human connections.
I don't know. We may have to like add another add another thing to our rating
It's like
system.
it's that's the thing, is that it's like I think this is something that's kind of like it challenges conventions, and it's something that I think people should watch for the experience of watching it. I don't necessarily think everybody's going to love it on that degree of like how it gets kind of metaphorical, metaphysical, and it's like got heavy symbology and stuff like that. Um so I don't think everybody's exactly going to get it, but I think it's definitely an experience of a show, and I can see exactly why Kaylee would have wanted us to watch this.
It's definitely an experience. What I'm saying is that with my ratings that we're going to talk about now, I can understand that it was a good anime, decent anime at least, at the very least. But I don't think I liked it. I don't think I enjoyed it. Like, I don't. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know if I enjoyed it yet. I think I'm gonna have to take the rest of the week to be like, did I enjoy what I watched? Because I understand like this is a good anime. I understand like on paper this would check all of our boxes for being at least decent. But me as my own personal taste, that's why I was saying we
So
may have to
you,
add
okay,
another
you say
thing.
that like you don't, yeah, you say you don't know if you like it, but can you tell, or are you able to distinguish if you actively disliked it?
I don't think I liked it either. I mean, I don't think I disliked it. That's why I'm like on the fence.
Yeah.
And going back to the question, would you recommend this to somebody? I don't think I would. Um, just because
I wouldn't recommend this as somebody's like first initial anime watching experience or
sure.
anything like that. But if somebody's like looking for like, I've watched all these things and I'm just kind of looking for something new, something different, like I could see myself giving this as a recommend under conditions. But I don't think this is something that I would just, yeah, like, oh, you don't know what anime is, watch this show. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't exactly think that that of this show, but I think it's good. Like it's something that I've never watched before, and I
Sure.
feel like maybe that's just more where I'm at, where I feel super refreshed on how different
And as like what we were saying when we first started watching the show, it's definitely a insane palate cleanser to all the anime that we have been watching. So if you're making, okay, I recommend this anime if you are a podcaster that has watched a bunch of sad anime that made you cry for a lot of times for many weeks, maybe months now, and you just need something to be silly about and watch some frog butts and stuff. So yes, then I would recommend it for people like us, like me and Matt here. But we have to rate the anime and we have to get moving. This is the end. We're done with Sarazanmai. We're going to pick a brand new anime in a couple moments. So, Matt, first off, where would you rate? Oh, first off, if this is your first time watching Sarazanmai, we rate animes. This is season 2 of the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour. We rate it on 3 criteria: animation, storytelling, and vibes. And then we give it a rating. And we also gave you the option as well to vote for where you put Sarazanmai. And we got some. Not gonna say what they are just yet, but we got some ratings in from you as well. So those are going to be into account for where the final rating for all of us go. So Matt, animation, what do you put Sarazanmai?
Animation, I'm giving it an A. Other than a few times where certain sequences are repeated, those sequences are animated very well, and I feel like the show just kind of has a lot of color, a lot of expression for sure, and a lot of just fluidity to its animation, where something that doesn't necessarily have a lot of action is able to stay visually interesting consistently. So I enjoyed the animation, but it is nothing that I haven't seen out of well animated shows before. So it that's why I'm giving it an A. It reaches that tier of being very well animated for me. Where would you rate it on the animation?
I'm giving it an A as well. I mean, everything looked beautiful. The colors vibrant. I liked like the changing sequences, the songs, those were really cool. All of the sequences that kept appearing, like the whenever they would change or whether they would go into Sarazanmai mode, all that looked great. I love the way it looked, all that stuff. But again, like you're saying, there's nothing really there that went over the top for me. It is a really good animation, and I really liked what I saw on screen. um, it was really funny to see the people that don't matter. Like I love that every single time. I think it was in like the last episode, the penultimate episode, where Sarah's just like and then one of the people just walk in front of the camera, and I'm like, what the fuck? So it's really funny. The animation goofs and slapstick stuff really hit whenever they did that. So animation and A, pretty good. Storytelling, where would you rank storytelling?
Storytelling, I'm gonna give it a B. The story kind of starts off pretty slow, and I think that's where the show trips up the most. But it has to kind of set itself up with those first few episodes of having some sort of a regular routine before it can break away to kind of become the story that it wants to be. But at the same time, I feel as though as we come to a close, everything unfortunately has to be rushed as more characters become important, mostly Mabu and Reo, their storyline beginning to go from like being a small part of the episodes to kind of coinciding with everything. So it feels like it has some bloat to it to that regard, but I think it still manages to at least handle everybody's stories and bring them to a satisfying close,
Yeah.
even if it's at the expense of the ones that are there feeling more wholly fleshed out. So that's where I'm at on storytelling. A B. Where are you going to put it for the storytelling?
I'm putting it at a B as well. I really didn't like in the last episodes, like you're saying as well. I agree with you, where it's all just kind of rushed, the whole Rio and Mabu stuff. I get it was kind of percolating in the back for most of the anime there, but for some of it, we just didn't know really what was going on, and we had them pinned as just straight up bad guys, and they fleshed them out really nicely. I just wish it was more, and it kind of trickled it out a little bit more than that, more than just like one little scene after the credits and stuff like that here and there. And I wish it was just more for that. If they were going to make a whole episode about them, like make it mean something other than just
There's that
having it
episode
on the
12 we
side
didn't have.
piece. What was that?
I said there's that episode 12 we didn't have.
Yeah, we could have had a whole nother episode.
Just make that episode 5 and make it or episode 7 or
Why not?
whatever, and
Why not?
flesh them out. There you go.
I don't. I'm. The beginning was one thing, and then the ending was a completely other thing. I don't know if I was ready for that. So I think the switch of I want it to be. I don't know. It could just be me as a viewer where I'm like, if it's gonna be funny this whole time and be silly, I'm like, all right, here's a funny, silly thing. Here we go. Let's be silly. Let's be goofy. And then they put all this story stuff. Or the other way, where if an anime sets up like this deep, gritty story or whatever, and then by the end they do slapstick characters, and that's all what we're gonna get, then like I'm not there for it. Like it could just be me as a viewer, but like them switching so much into this other story driven stuff, which is great. I love that. Fantastic stuff. But I don't think you set me up correctly with the first few episodes being as silly as they were, because I wanted a little silly experience.
The first few episodes had me set up to like expect kind of like sketch style comedy to come
like
out
Love is
in the
War.
show. Yeah, but then we just like Kaguya-sama, exactly. That's kind of like what I was thinking this was going to be, Kaguya-sama, but little Power Ranger guys. But then it's like, oh, there's a love triangle, or like, you know, love. there's some what's it called? It got super weird sexual tension going on with the Auditor and Ryo Mabu situation.
Was in the bed with him, and he's like,
he was like, bake me some more otters.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, what?
I'm just saying, like, again, it's like it draws a very good balance for me on the absurdism and the character drama aspects, but for somebody who's not ready for those two polar opposites, it's going to be jarring to watch.
It was a lot. So that was definitely a B for me. What about the vibes? What would you put on the vibes?
This is where I'm at. I'm at an S for the vibes, man. Like at the end of the day, I wanted more. And that's when I know that the vibes were S, because it's like, that's exactly what I'm saying. It felt bloated because there weren't enough episodes, because we couldn't flesh out the characters enough, like yada, yada, yada. I think, again, it has a very good balance for me of like kind of drawing me in and like kind of making me like feel things for the characters, feel those empathetic feelings that we get when we see them have to go through their personal ordeals. But then it's like making me laugh with some floating cats being taken away to a zombie where we have to have a dance break in order to kill it. So like, I don't know, it's just, it felt very fresh, and it felt like something that I haven't watched before. And that's ultimately why I think the vibes for me were just S tier, because even when it wasn't necessarily like hitting super high levels of the animation or the storytelling quality, it's like doing things in such a different way that it's at least keeping me like locked by like what's going to happen next, like how much more wild can it get, really. But while still the thing is that and Kaylee, who recommended this to us, mentioned it before, and I felt this way too, it constantly knows how to like be tasteful with its absurdism and its humor, and it's never trying to be funny when it's inappropriate, and it's never trying to
appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's never, whereas like other shows that we've watched, you get that feeling that like it's doing something to play it for laughs, and I'm just like, I don't think anybody's laughing. I don't think anybody outside of the writer's room is laughing at what just happened, but that's just me. So vibes and S for me on Sarazanmai. Where are you going to rate it for the vibes?
I think the vibes are an A for me. This as well, where I really like the characters. I really love the silly stuff. That absurd stuff is really enjoyable, but I don't know if I liked it, and I don't think I would watch it again. That's just me. I think one time was good. I'm all set on the story. I don't know. I'm conflicted because I did love the little character. I love the way they looked. I love that they're little silly guys. But the vibes were just an A for me. It didn't have that extra thing for me to be like, I want to watch it again. That was so good. Like you were saying, you wanted more. You wanted more episodes. For me, by the end, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm all set here. This is it. I'm down. I can acknowledge that this is a decent anime. This is good, and I still got to figure out if it's for me. And I don't know if it was for me,
I don't
personally.
know if I'd watch it again, but I think that it had potential to be much greater than what it was,
Sure.
for sure.
Okay. Well, with that, plus your voting here, there was a link in the Discord that you could vote for this anime. So all of those wrangled up together, the final vote and final ranking for Sarazanmai is an A ranked anime. Wow. This is an A ranked anime here.
Look at
Another
all of
one.
them.
Look at them go. Look at all these little guys. They're just being silly. So, another A ranked anime for season 2. Let's put him on the board. There he is. There's Kazu in Kappa form, joining all of the little guys from all the anime that we've seen this season so far. Another A to add there. So we've seen a lot of S tiers. We've seen a lot of high level anime so far this season, which is really fun and always really good to talk about stuff that we liked. So that's good. But that's the end. No more Sarazanmai. No more talk about kappas, frog butts,
Shinko
the
mamas.
ankle thing that Matt can't pronounce. No more talks of those because we're gonna pick a brand new anime from the anime chest of dreams. Anime here that are suggested by you, the viewers, or by me and Matt. He's shaking it up. I think there's a CZ dollar fell out of there. Maybe I don't know.
Don't look.
But there is anime in the chest. Matt, no look pulling here for the next anime we're gonna watch, and it is
Fury.
Bofuri.
Bofuri.
Bofuri. How do you spell it?
Bofuri.
Did I not have it on here? Oh no, that's
Oops.
on me. Bofuri. Who suggested that one?
Average Spore.
Oh, wait, isn't that one called something else? No, it's Bofuri.
I just have Bofuri written
I guess
here.
I didn't put it up here. Dang, that's me. That's on me. So Bofuri, we're gonna watch the first 4 episodes of Bofuri. Bofuri.
Oh, because it's a really long title. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I had it up here, and I think I deleted it for some reason on accident.
Yeah, we definitely haven't watched that one yet.
Okay, what is it called?
Bo Furry.
Furi.
Furi.
Bofuri.
Colon. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Let's go. I'm down. That smells like an isekai.
I was about to say that
smells.
I wonder what type of anime this is.
That gives me isekai vibes all over. I'm down. I'm down for an isekai. I'm cool with it.
It's time. What was the last isekai? We haven't really
Dark
had one.
Overlord,
or that other one where I'm forgetting.
Yep.
Yeah, I forget.
Forgot. So Bofuri, I don't want to take damage, so I'll max out my defense. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. That's the anime we're watching next week. Watch the first 4 episodes. How many episodes are there?
24.
Okay, we'll watch like 12 or 13. So we're going to watch about the first arc. Usually is about 12 to 13 episodes. We're going to get through that. If you would like to watch along with us, we've never seen it. I've never seen it. Matt, have you seen it?
I've not seen this one.
We have not seen the anime. So if you want to dive into a new anime with us, it's the perfect time to just try some new anime.
Oh, there's 12 episodes, 2 seasons.
Oh,
each 12 episodes.
Well, then we'll watch the first season.
We'll watch the first season. Yeah.
First season of Bofuri. We're going to be watching that by next week, episode 1 through 4. So if you want to watch along, come back next week and then give us your thoughts, give us your opinions and stuff like that. But Matt, where can they find you on the internet?
You could follow me on my YouTube at Matt_Galley, on my social medias at NITS at the front at it's Matt_Galley. When we're not here discussing the wild world of anime. Where can the people find you?
Find me on YouTube, youtube.com/JulesTheHuman, JULES the Human, on all social media. If you're
Season
watching
is
on
not as
Twitch, I
good.
don't stream on Twitch anymore. I stream here on YouTube. So watch on YouTube, post the podcast on YouTube as well, post a bunch of reactions and stuff because I'm a musician and all that. I'm currently going into Junji Ito and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, reading all those. So it's been pretty fun. What did Claire say? It's pretty fun. I've seen this one. Oh, a Claire endorsement. I'm
A
down.
Claire
The second
endorsement.
the second season is not as good. Oof, never mind. Just season one. Just season one. Full Fury, season one only. But you find me on all this stuff. You can find this podcast on Spotify as well. If you want to listen and watch on Spotify, you can just look up the Jules and Matt Anime Era. Go back into our catalog. We already did a season one of a bunch of anime, and we're doing our season two, and we're already getting up there with all the anime we've been doing. To go see and see if we've done one of your favorite anime, go back in the catalog, or if you want to suggest one, do that during the show, and it'll go towards both me and Matt. But that's the end. Bo Fury by next week, 1 through 4. Barnes and Noble.
Is me what?
He's what? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.